Fellow gardeners, let me share something that completely transformed my pepper growing game last season. After years of experimenting with countless fertilizers, amendments, and growing techniques, I stumbled upon one natural ingredient that sent my pepper plants into overdrive. I'm talking about explosive growth, darker green foliage, and yields that had my neighbors asking what my secret was. Today I'm pulling back the curtain on this game-changing natural fertilizer that's probably sitting in your kitchen right now, coffee grounds. But, before you roll your eyes thinking this is just another recycling tip, stick with me. The science behind why coffee grounds work so incredibly well for peppers will blow your mind, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use them for maximum results. Here's the thing about peppers that many gardeners don't fully grasp. They're heavy feeders with very specific nutritional needs. Unlike tomatoes or cucumbers, peppers require a delicate balance of nutrients delivered at just the right time. Too much nitrogen early on and you'll get all leaves and no fruit. Too little, and your plants will struggle to develop the robust structure needed to support heavy pepper loads. Coffee grounds hit that sweet spot perfectly. Fresh coffee grounds contain about 2% nitrogen, 0.3% phosphorus, and 0.6% potassium, what we call a slow-release NPK ratio that peppers absolutely love. But here's where it gets interesting. As coffee grounds decompose, they release these nutrients gradually over several weeks, providing a steady food source that matches your pepper plant's growth cycle. The magic doesn't stop at basic nutrition. Coffee grounds also contain trace amounts of magnesium, copper, and other micronutrients that peppers crave. Magnesium in particular is crucial for chlorophyll production, which explains why gardeners using coffee grounds often report dramatically greener, more vibrant foliage. Let's dig into what's actually happening in your soil when you add coffee grounds. Fresh coffee grounds are slightly acidic, with a pH around 6.5 to 6.8. This might concern you if you've heard that peppers prefer neutral soil, but here's what most gardening advice gets wrong. Peppers actually perform exceptionally well in slightly acidic conditions, especially when that acidity comes from organic matter. As the coffee grounds decompose, they attract beneficial microorganisms that create a thriving soil ecosystem. These microbes break down organic matter and make nutrients more available to your pepper plant's roots. I've tested soil samples from my coffee ground amended beds, and the microbial activity is consistently 40% higher than my control plots. The organic matter from coffee grounds also improves soil structure dramatically. In clay soils, it helps create better drainage and prevents waterlogging that can kill pepper plants. In sandy soils, it increases water retention and prevents nutrients from washing away during heavy rains. This dual action means coffee grounds work in virtually any soil type. Here's where most gardeners go wrong with coffee grounds. They either dump them directly around plants or compost them first. Both approaches miss the optimal application window. After extensive testing in my own garden and working with fellow Soil Sensei community members, I've developed what I call the staged feeding method. Start by collecting used coffee grounds from your morning brew, but don't stop there. Most coffee shops are happy to give away their used grounds. I've built relationships with 3 local cafes that save bags for me weekly. The key is using them fresh, within 24 to 48 hours of brewing. For new pepper transplants, you'll want to create a planting mixture using about 20% coffee grounds, 30% compost, and 50% native soil. This blend, provides immediate nutrition while preventing that slight nitrogen burn that straight coffee grounds can sometimes cause with young plants. Just mix this thoroughly and plant your peppers directly into this enriched soil. For established plants, what you should do is apply a 1-inch layer of coffee grounds in a ring around each plant, but make sure to stay about 4 inches away from the stem. This prevents direct contact with the main root zone while allowing nutrients to gradually work their way toward the plant. Water this in gently. You want the grounds to start breaking down immediately. During the early growth phase, which is roughly the first 4 weeks after transplanting, peppers are busy building their root systems and establishing their framework. This is really when that initial planting mixture pays dividends. The slow-release nitrogen supports steady vegetative growth without pushing the plant too hard. As your peppers enter their flowering phase, typically about 6 to 8 weeks after planting, they really start to shift their nutritional needs. They still want some nitrogen, but now phosphorus becomes crucial for flower and fruit development. This is when I add my second application of coffee grounds mixed half and half with wood ash for that extra boost of potassium and phosphorus. The third application comes just as the very first peppers start forming. At this stage, I use purely composted coffee grounds that have been aged for at least 2 months. This, provides gentle, continuous feeding through the peak production period without overwhelming the plants. While coffee grounds alone produce some pretty impressive results, combining them with complementary organic amendments creates a synergistic effect that's absolutely incredible. I've found that mixing coffee grounds with crushed eggshells adds calcium that helps prevent blossom end rot in pepper fruits. The ratio I use is 4 parts coffee grounds to 1 part crushed eggshells. Another powerful combination involves mixing coffee grounds with banana peels that have been dried and ground up. The potassium from the banana peels pairs perfectly with the nitrogen from coffee grounds, creating what I call pepper rocket fuel. My plants treated with this combination consistently outperform single amendment plots by about 25 to 30%. For gardeners dealing with pest issues, coffee grounds offer an unexpected bonus. The caffeine residue in used grounds acts as a natural deterrent to slugs, snails, and certain soil-dwelling pests. I've noticed, honestly, significantly less cutworm damage in beds treated with coffee grounds, likely due to this natural pest-suppressing effect. Even with the best intentions, I see gardeners making the same mistakes with coffee grounds year after year. The most common error is using too much too fast. While coffee grounds are fantastic, there's still organic matter that needs to decompose. Applying more than 2 inches at once can create anaerobic conditions that actually harm your plants. Another mistake is using only coffee grounds without balancing carbon and nitrogen ratios. Coffee grounds are considered green material in composting terms, meaning they're nitrogen-rich. Without adequate brown material like dried leaves or shredded paper, they can create imbalanced soil conditions. I always mix my coffee grounds with shredded autumn leaves at a 3-to-1 ratio. Some gardeners worry about making their soil too acidic with regular coffee ground applications. In my experience, this is rarely an issue because the grounds are used, meaning most of the acids have been extracted during brewing. However, if you're concerned, test your soil pH annually and add lime if needed to maintain optimal levels. After 3 seasons of perfecting this coffee ground system, the results in my pepper patch, well, they really speak for themselves. My bell pepper plants consistently reach heights of 4 to 5 feet, compared to the typical 2 to 3 feet I achieved with commercial fertilizers. And, more importantly, the fruit production has increased by an average of 60% across all pepper varieties. The flavor improvement has been equally impressive. Peppers grown with coffee grounds develop deeper, more complex flavors with better heat balance in hot varieties. I believe this comes from the trace minerals and the overall soil health improvements that coffee grounds provide. Perhaps most satisfying is the cost savings. What used to be a $200 per season fertilizer budget has dropped to essentially zero, since coffee grounds are free and abundant. This system has proven itself across different soil types, climate zones, and pepper varieties, making it universally applicable for home gardeners. Transform your pepper garden this season with the power of coffee grounds, and don't forget to subscribe to Soil Sensei for more game-changing organic gardening strategies. Share this article with fellow gardeners who are ready to ditch the chemicals and embrace natural abundance. Your pepper plants will thank you, and your harvests will be the envy of the neighborhood.